In the headlines for this hour on VTV News, Prime Minister looks into Viettel high-tech defense industry operations. National Assembly Chairman attends Vietnam-China People Friendship meetings. In our world news, Russia and China relations reach unprecedented level.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello, it's 8 a.m. local time in Hanoi. You're watching VTV News. Prime Minister Phie had a working session with the military industry and telecoms group Viettel in Hanoi on Tuesday regarding the group's research and production activities in the high-tech defense industries. More to follow.
During the working session, the chairman and general director of Viettel said the company has mastered the design, integration, and core technologies of high-tech defense industry products. Particularly, the group has successfully produced and delivered some strategic products for the military. On behalf of the party, the state, and the government, the Prime Minister stressed that products researched and developed by Viettel, especially strategic ones, have been contributing to laying a foundation for building the nation's proactive, self-reliant, self-sufficient, dual-use and modern defense industry. They help promote the internal strength to develop the sector as a spearhead of the national industry.
To conclude the development process of the group in the past, I think of 5 things, which are more experience, more confident, more professional, better and more products, better quality of human resources.
In the coming time, to continue promoting the development of the defense industry and contributing to the modernization of the Vietnam People's Army, the Prime Minister proposed implementing tasks with new methods and approaches.
The Viettel Group should blaze a trail in innovation and emerging industries, particularly in the research and production of semiconductor chips for national defense and security purposes. All staff must dare to think big, dare to take actions, dare to take responsibility and dare to take risks. Preventing and combating negativity is also a must. I urged the group to quickly master technologies, localize more products, and research and make dual-use goods to serve domestic and export demands.
The government leader also directed the Ministry of National Defense and relevant ministries, sectors, and units to further improve the mechanism and policies and develop a harmonious and modern infrastructure serving the defense industry development. It is necessary to enhance hiring and training human resources and to actively research and manufacture products meeting practical requirements.
Prime Minister Phie has signed the resolutions on the government's regular meetings in March and its online conference with localities. In the resolution, the government required ministries, agencies, and localities to closely coordinate together in direction and management, quickly remove devotees, and strive to achieve goals and targets of 2024. The government also asked them to update, analyze, and forecast global and regional developments to have prompt and effective management plans and policy responses. Additionally, they need to have appropriate and effective solutions to stabilize the market and prices, develop the domestic market while boosting the country's exports. Other tasks include drastically dispersing public investment capital with a focus on facilitating the construction progress of key projects, proactively developing plans to ensure sufficient electricity supply for production and business, as well as economical and effective use of electricity. Within the framework of an official visit to the People's Republic of China, National Assembly Chairman Nguyen Xuan Phuc attended the Vietnam-China People's Friendship meeting. The meeting witnessed the participation of Chinese intellectuals, former Chinese ambassadors to Vietnam, and the country business representative. More to follow.
At the meeting, intellectuals of the two countries shared many touching stories about the friendship between the people of Vietnam and China, which is a neighborly relationship of mountain by mountain, river by river. Emotionally sending the best congratulations to the delegates, intellectuals and scholars of the two countries, National Assembly Chairman Nguyen Xuan Phuc affirmed that Vietnam always remembers the close solidarity and sincere help of the party, the state and the people of China in the past struggle for national independence and the cause of national development. He stated that developing relations with China is always a strategic and top priority in Vietnam's independent, autonomous, multilateral, and diversified foreign policy. The National Assembly chairman affirmed that the top leaders of the two parties and the two countries have established a new positioning and raised the level of comprehensive strategic cooperative partnership between Vietnam and China, and to build a community with a shared future.
One of the most basic and important directions of cooperation in Vietnam-China relations is to consolidate a stronger social foundation. During the friendship meeting in Hanoi, General Secretary of the Communist Party of Vietnam Nguyen Phu Trong emphasized that the sincere and profound aspirations of the two countries' people for friendship, peace, cooperation, and development play as a great source of strength and a solid basis for belief in the bright future of relations between the two countries on the path to building socialism. General Secretary, Chinese President Xi Jinping also said that the root of China-Vietnam relations is in the people and how to make the China-Vietnam friendship seep into the hearts and minds of the two peoples. The National Assembly of Vietnam and the National People's Congress of China are the highest representative bodies of the people, representing the voice, will and aspirations of the two countries. The signing of a new cooperation agreement between the two countries' legislative bodies aims at maintaining high-level strategic exchanges, bringing practical benefits to the people of the two countries.
The National Assembly chairman hopes that the Vietnam Union of Friendship Organizations, the Chinese People's Foreign Friendship Association, and other people's organizations of the two countries will continue to promote friendly exchanges and to further develop friendship relations between Vietnam and China.
Also, during its official visit to China on Tuesday, National Assembly Chairman Vương Đình Huệ attended a Vietnam-China seminar on state-owned enterprises, reform and management of state capital at enterprises. He also received leaders of several large Chinese corporations in Beijing, China. More to follow.
The event, part of the top legislators' official visit to China, saw the presence of Vietnamese and Chinese officials and about 250 delegates representing over 100 businesses of the two countries. At the event, participants discussed results and lessons of state-owned capital and asset management in China, state-owned enterprises, reform experiences and issues in Vietnam, along with other major matters. They also looked into ways to further improve the role of state-owned enterprises in each economy and economic cooperation. As state-owned enterprises form a crucial force for national modernization in each country, it is necessary to develop leading and open businesses with rich vitality that serves as pillars of the national economies, help with social stability, and are able to cope with crisis.
Receiving General Director of China Electricity Construction Group Quang Minh, the Vietnamese National Assembly chairman emphasized that Vietnam has approved the National Electricity Development Plan 2021 to 2030 with a vision to 2050, amending the electricity law, and will continue to review and amend it to attract investors in this field. Receiving Vice Chairman of the Board of Directors of BYD Electric Automobile Group, Liu Huangming, the top legislator affirmed that the Vietnamese National Assembly will continue to improve the legal system to meet practical requirements and create favorable conditions for businesses. The National Assembly chairman also received leaders of a number of businesses in the fields of real estate and electronic batteries. He affirmed that the Vietnamese National Assembly and the government will make efforts to improve the investment environment and further improve policies and laws to attract major international corporations and companies to invest in production and business in Vietnam.
Also, during the National Assembly Chairman visit to China, National Assembly Vice Chairman Chen Guangfeng met with Chairman of the Ethnic Affairs Committees of China's National People's Congress, Bai Yin-Chaolu. The two leaders welcomed the establishment of a cooperation committee between the Vietnamese National Assembly and the Chinese National People's Congress to carry out cooperation in the training of deputies. The two sides expressed their willingness to effectively implement cooperation agreements between the legislative bodies of the two countries. As such, they can contribute to enhancing the relationship between the two bodies more effectively with higher political trust. At the symposium, the two sides also share experiences on law building, democracy, and ethnic affairs. Coming up next on VTV News, Vietnam-Laos sign new trade agreement. And residents in Hanoi Allied Commune have access to clean water for first time. Welcome back to VTV News. Vietnam Ministry of Industry and Trade and Laos Ministry of Industries and Commerce signed a new Vietnam-Laos trade agreement on Monday. The new agreement aims to promote market access for goods and services from both countries and create stable, sustainable, and long-term connections. The provisions of the agreement are built on the principles of equality and mutual benefit, creating maximum convenience in exporting and importing goods and providing services for each country. The new agreement will contribute to continuing to improve the legal basis for Vietnam-Laos trade activities after reviewing and offering tariff incentive. Last year, total bilateral trade turnover reached about $1.6 billion. According to the State Bank of Vietnam, the current loan interest rate is about 6.4% per year, down 0.7% compared to the end of 2023. Since the beginning of this year, numerous banks have launched credit packages with low interest rates, easing the financial burden for Vietnamese businesses.
To optimize production lines through automation, this company is about to upgrade manufacturing equipment, with an estimated total cost of more than $2 million. As interest rates on loans to enterprises decline, the company is able to take out new loans at a lower rate to grow its business.
Commercial banks offer preferential rates starting from 4.1% per annum for loans with maturity under 6 months and 5% for loans from 6 to 12 months. Loans with preferential rates will help businesses change their performance models and optimize operation costs.
The State Bank of Vietnam has forecast that credit growth in Vietnam will increase from 0.26% in the first quarter of 2024 to 3.8% in the second quarter. Since the beginning of this year, numerous banks have launched preferential loan packages with low interest rates to support domestic businesses.
Since April 1st, we have lowered lending interest rates by 0.5% for 3-month loans, with total interest rate reductions of up to $11 billion. In addition, we have launched new loans with an interest rate that is 1.5% lower than the average interest rate for loans in March.
Working capital is often referred to as the lifeblood of a company. The government's easing of monetary policy is expected to allow Vietnam businesses to obtain the capital necessary for their operations.
Vietnam's economy is projected to grow by 6% in 2024. The launch of preferential interest rate packages is expected to help domestic enterprises to recover and thrive in the future.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, in collaboration with the United Nations, held a launch for the National Week of Clean Water and Sanitation in Cà Mau Province on Tuesday. The event is aimed to enhance solutions to cope with drought, saltwater intrusions, and water shortages that currently plague various localities, especially in the Mekong Delta. Authorities will deploy different solutions to provide water for people and use water economically. The Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development and the UN in Vietnam have activated a financial support package for more than 1,000 households in difficult circumstances due to drought and saltwater intrusion. In the Mekong Delta, salinity concentration currently remains at a high level, and the area is consistently affected by widespread drought and salinity intrusions. Therefore, localities are proactively implementing various solutions, including sharing clean water sources to ensure people have enough water for daily use.
Recently, many residents of Gia Thuận Commune, Gò Công Đông District, Tiền Giang Province have been able to access clean water for free thanks to the generosity of sponsors.
I received a charity truck and pumped clean water for everyone to share.
Currently, several water ponds including Gia Thuận, Bình Tân and Gia Bình in the eastern part of Tiền Giang have dried up. This has resulted in the water shortages of about 25,000 cubic meters per day. To address this problem, the Dong Tâm water plant has activated 6 backup wells and connected water pipelines from Mỹ Tho to the drought and saline intrusion affected areas. Consequently, more than 100 public water taps has been opened. Additionally, the local government has arranged for tankers to transport water to locations that the pipeline cannot reach.
Tiền Giang has invested in a specialized water plant to bring water to the province, but the pumping system is not synchronized. Additionally, we suffer from a severe water shortage every year.
The coastal area of Tiền Giang Province experiences a shortage of water resources annually. Given the sparse population, investing in clean water system proves ineffective. As a result, the province plans to reorganize residential areas more densely and further invest in infrastructure to enhance the quality of life.
Ming Cho Commune is situated on a Red River Delta alluvial islet at the convergence of 2 other rivers. As a result, when their water rises, the commune becomes isolated from the mainland, accessible only by water transport. For decades, local residents had used different kinds of wells for daily use, and most of the water sources were heavily polluted. Thanks to the government's support, the commune recently gained access to clean water 70 years after its formation.
Before local residents got access to clean water, this man's family had used rainwater and well water for daily activities. Starting from the 2024 Tate holiday, his family no longer have to use unhygienic water sources.
In the previous years, I used water from local wells. Well water with high iron levels caused our clothes to turn yellow and wear out faster. Thanks to support from the government and local authorities, we have got access to clean water for the first time. I feel much better every day as I live in a healthy environment.
Local authorities have recently invested in upgrading road infrastructure and building bridges to connect the commune with other areas. The new roads have facilitated local transportation, narrowing the gaps between children and their schools.
All residents made joint efforts to safeguard public infrastructure, including electric power systems, roads, schools, and drainage systems. As a result, Ming Cho Commune met 19 criteria to qualify as a new-style rural area in 2019.
Ming Cho's annual household income per capita reached more than $2,500 in 2023, much lower than the average annual household income of residents in Hanoi. Local residents here mainly plant bananas and raise pigs and cows.
Authorities instructed local farmers how to raise farm animals with the application of high technology. They also provided vaccinations to help our livestock stay healthy.
We are aiming to develop agricultural tourism in the future. Tourism development will help residents improve their income and make the commune thrive.
In the dry season, people can traverse on foot to Vinh Phuc province. Authorities have proposed building a bridge for easier travel.
These days, the entire country is embracing the heroic spirit of the 70th anniversary of the Dien Bien Phu victory, driven by strong patriotism and the principles of when the enemy comes to your home, even the women should fight. Tens of thousands of women overcame adversity to eagerly join the front lines. During the Dien Bien Phu campaign, women contributed over 2.3 million workdays, representing half of the total workdays. Their significant participation in the battle contributed greatly to the nation's historic victory.
In late March 1954, Vietnamese soldiers managed to construct nearly 100 kilometers of trenches within just 10 days, closing in on the enemy base. Witnessing these historical moments was 24-year-old Do Thị Vấn from Medical Treatment Team 3. She was in charge of logistics during the battles at Độc Lập Hill, Bản Kéo, Na Tấn, and Mường Phăng. To her, this oil lamp is a reminder of the nights she spent tending to injured soldiers.
Medical Treatment Team 3 was divided into 3 areas, depending on the patient's conditions. I was on the team, handling patients in critical situations. My teammates and I would provide milk and porridge for the wounded soldiers.
Along with Do Thị Vấn, Đặng Thị Kiên also participated in the Dien Bien Phu campaign. Despite being 90 years old, they still vividly recall those challenging days.
I remember wading through large streams to dig bamboo shoots. I found large ones to bring back to our wounded soldiers.
During the Dien Bien Phu campaign, Medical Treatment Team 3 alone received, rescued, treated, and safely transported more than 2,000 wounded soldiers to the rear. Tens of thousands of women joined hands to build roads, transport food, medicine, and ammunition to the battlefield.
Our parents have taught us about the traditions of our family and generations of Dien Bien soldiers.
Through the stories told, we have learned about the greatness of the women who accompanied and contributed to the historic victory.
Despite their advanced age, these soldiers maintain the heroic spirit of their youth. They play an indispensable role in the monumental victory at Dien Bien Phu.
Coming up next in our World News, Russia and China relations reach an unprecedented level. And Gaza residents struggle to fend off starvation. Russian-Chinese relations of comprehensive partnership and strategic interactions have reached an unprecedented level thanks to joint efforts made by the two country leaders. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said on Tuesday following talks with his Chinese counterpart in Beijing. Foreign Minister Lavrov said that the Russian president's administration was committed to strengthening the relationship between the two countries. Meanwhile, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi emphasized that China was set to support the stable course of bilateral developments with Russia. Both ministers said their countries would strengthen their ties against terrorism. The two-day trip to Beijing of Minister Sergei Lavrov aims to prepare for a trip to China by Russian President Vladimir Putin in May. Famine is ever closer in the north of Gaza due to the lingering war, according to a report by the World Food Programme. Malnutrition among children is spreading at a record pace, and 1 in 3 children below the age of 2 is now acutely malnourished. Some 70% of the population in the north is facing catastrophic hunger. More to follow.
In Jabalia, where humanitarian aid has been hard to get in, hungry Gazans have reduced to dig up wild plants and rummage through rubbles for something to burn, to make a meager pot of soup to survive. food insecurity is no better in Deir al-Bala in the central Gaza.
We eat whatever we can find. My biggest fear is that my son will go out and never come back. I don't sleep until everyone is back home.
More than 1 million people in Gaza are living on food aid provided by the World Food Programme.
When we were displaced at the beginning, we used to eat rotten bread. This is the only place where I can get food for my children. I have 3 boys and 1 girl. I couldn't afford to buy food, everything is so expensive. This local kitchen is our safe place. We come here every day.
Despite enormous challenges, the World Food Programme has distributed ready-to-eat food parcels, hot meals, wheat flour and specialized products to stave off malnutrition. In March, it managed to get 47 trucks into the north, an improvement in February, but far from what's needed.
We need security guarantees for us as humanitarians, but also for the people we serve in Gaza.
The healthcare system in Gaza is also on the brink of collapse due to repeated Israeli attacks.
Most public and private hospitals here are out of service because health workers have been killed and facilities and equipment destroyed.
The United Nations called on the international community to exert pressure on Israel to immediately stop its military operations in Gaza and allow humanitarian aid to reach people trapped in the besieged coastal enclave.
The South Korea Fair Trade Commission KFTC has initiated a probe into domestic artificial intelligence AI sector. Specifically, the KFTC will scrutinize the ChatGPT and Google Gemini dominant generative AI market to ascertain if monopolizations and consumer harm are occurring. The KFTC is poised to address the challenges arising from the monopolizations of domestic AI market by foreign companies, which often hinders the competitiveness of local firms. The KFTC is also preparing to form a research team or establish an advisory system with experts in competition law and AI markets as it aims to help domestic enterprises improve competitive advantages. And now, as usual, let's continue with the weather forecast. And that's it for this hour on VTV News. To rewatch the program, you can log on to VTVgo.vn or download a mobile application VTVgo. Thanks for watching and goodbye for now.